Hey guys, welcome back to the Play On Footy YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Round 18 roundup. We're going to be starting with the first game of the round, which is Collingwood versus Cats. But before I get into that, I'll just go over the tips. So I got the Collingwood Cats tip right. The Hawks and Dockers, I tipped the Dockers and the Hawks got up over the Dockers. It was a pretty good game really, in terms of Hawks are probably one of the clear leading teams at the moment. So you probably got Sydney Swans up the top and Hawks that have just been doing really well as of late. And to win against the Dockers, albeit in Tasmania, I thought it was an amazing game for them, and anything's possible for the Hawks now. Next game is Sydney versus North. I got that correct. Bullies versus Carlton, I got that game wrong. I tipped Carlton and the Bullies won. That was another season-defining moment for Luke Beveridge, and probably saving him. But it's pivotal that team makes finals. And yeah, if they don't, hopefully he doesn't get sacked. But I don't see it probably in too much positive light for him going forward. Crows versus Saints, I got that one correct. Demons versus Bombers, I got that one wrong. Demons won. Suns versus Port, I got that one right. No, yeah, I got that one right. Tigers versus Giants, I got that one right. And Eagles versus Lions, I tipped Eagles. Just basically thinking of what happened with Simo, I thought they would respond pretty emotionally, which they did to a point. I mean, it wasn't a massive loss, but the Lions won over the Eagles. So we'll start back with the first game of the round, which is Collingwood versus Cats, all the way back Friday night. Pies, got beat really in the contest, and Darcy Cameron did amazing in the ruck against really no opposition in the Cats. You know, they had Mark Blitzarves that went in the ruck, but yeah, he was no match for Darcy Cameron. So 3 votes to Darcy Cameron, 2 votes to Holmes, and 1 to Stewart. Mentions to Humphreys and Dempsey. I thought they played really well, and they're basically the future for the Cats. And I think it's looking really bright for them going forward. So really excited to see what the Cats have in store come finals. They're definitely going to play finals. I don't see them losing out on finals this year. I think they'll definitely be playing. Hawks versus the Dockers. Obviously the Hawks got it done. 3 votes to Jackson, 2 votes to Meek, and 1 to Clark. I thought those guys did really well in this game, and it was just a really high defensive game. There was a lot of chip marks, could have sort of ball movement, tackle and then stoppage sort of thing. So that's why Jackson and Meek were basically the biggest AFL fantasy scorers in this game. But yeah, Hawks are a really exciting team to watch, and considering where they've come from in terms of their list, I mean, their list is probably eclipsing the Eagles at the moment in terms of the talent that they've got. And it'll be interesting to see who they pick up over the trade period, but they are a pretty well-oiled team. I think back to that game that they won against Western Bulldogs, and I still think to this day it was a season-defining moment, that win, because ever since then, I think they only lost. I mean, they lost to Port, which was really a nail biter. It was just a couple of seconds that they lost that goal where just Darcy Byrne-Jones kicked that goal. And there was another one that they've just recently lost as well. I think it was But I think Hawks are definitely ones to watch this finals campaign. I actually see them playing finals. If they keep continuing on this trajectory, I think it's definitely they're definitely going to play in the finals. The next game is Sydney versus North. This was a demolition basically for Sydney. Luke Parker came back, which is really good to see. He scored a 72 at AFL Fantasy, but the 3 votes, 151 AFL Fantasy. Goulden, second was Warner, I think he got 116 AFL Fantasy, and Grundy there as well, 110, I want to say, AFL Fantasy. And then close in behind was LDU. But the Sydney Swans, I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they got Callum Mills come back into that game as well, and Parker, of course. And yeah, unfortunately, McInerney got a PCL injury, knee injury. But apart from that, it's looking really good for them. Bullies versus Carlton. Obviously, Bullies got a win over Carlton in Cripps' 200th game. Cripps got 3 votes from me, 2 votes to English and 1 vote to Dale. Yeah, I just think that Carlton, hopefully they're not throwing their season away like Bombers are at the moment, which we'll get onto in the next couple of games. Crows versus Saints. The Crows got the job done pretty comfortably over the Saints in the end, especially after, I want to say, third quarter, they really put the foot down. Thilthorpe, he went forward at three-quarter time, kicked a couple of goals, I think 2 goals in the end. That was a masterstroke from Nixie. But yeah, 3 votes to Marshall, dominated in the ruck, 150, I think it was AFL Fantasy for him. 2 votes was Laird, and 1 vote to Dawson. I think they did really well in the middle for the Crows. Next game was Demons and Bombers. Yeah, this one was a wet weather footy at the MCG. They brought back Petty, the Demons did in the ruck, and yeah, made Draper just look like totally useless. I mean, he scored 96 AFL Fantasy, but yeah, Petty did like pretty well. I mean, to have no Gorn and still get the win over the Bombers, albeit wet weather footy, but you know, there's no excuse. Martin even went forward for the Bombers, kicked 4 goals, and I thought that was a really interesting move, but sort of saved them a little bit. Could have been done earlier, but hindsight's always bliss. But yeah, 3 votes to Martin, 2 votes to Trent Rivers, who has been doing a really good job in the middle. In Petrarca's absence. I think, yeah, if you don't have him in your AFL fantasy team, get him in. And then next vote, 1 vote to Caldwell. Next game is Suns versus Port. Suns got the job done at home, as they normally do. Made Port and Jason Horne-Francis just look totally nowhere, which isn't entirely true, because Port, you know, they do have a really good list. They've got great leaders in Rosie and Butters played in a fantastic game this game. In fact, I gave Butters the 3 votes, 2 to Houston and 1 to Anderson as well. Where to from here? Well, the Suns have got like 8 wins at home and 7 losses away, so they've really got to fix up their losing streaks away from home, and yeah, basically mature as a side, and that's what Damien Hardwick's wanting to do. But it's going to be a big test for the Suns against GWS at NG Stadium. I think that's going to be a massive test for them. Tigers versus the Giants. The Giants got it done pretty comfortably in the end. Briggs was massive in the ruck for Giants, 140 odd AFL Fantasy. 2 votes was to Whitfield and 1 to Green as well. But yeah, the Giants are definitely still up there. They're definitely going to play finals. I don't see them falling away much yet. And Tigers are just on the rebuild. So yeah, that was a pretty bit of a non-watch there. And then the next game was Eagles versus Lions. The Lions got it done in the end. In Liam Ryan's 100th game and Jared Berry's 150th game. Neil got 3 votes from me. McCluggage did really well, got 2 votes from me, and 1 vote to Ryan. He got 2 goals, 1 and 21 touches. So that was a pretty good game. But yeah, Liam Ryan did a pretty big hit on Brain. Yeah, big hip and shoulder, but it's all a part of the game. And I think Charlie Cameron got Liam Duggan in a pretty big tackle as well, got him knocked out. So he'll be probably missing this coming week with the concussion protocols. But yeah, all in all, it was a great round 18. It's really coming in nice and tight to the finals. I mean, you got round 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then you get the finals. So it's really coming to that pointy end of the season well and truly now. And yeah, write down below, comment which team you're looking forward to play finals, who do you think is going to scrape through, and yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.